Authorizing. 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 Authorizing.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning for episode 24 of Pinstripes Uncensored. You know who I am. I'm Chris, better known as CK. You know my co-host right there, Anthony, King of Pinstripes, Yankee gear all day, always at every home game, and got the dopest background ever. Talk to the people. How you doing?
Doing great. We're putting out episodes like it's hot cakes. It's coming in quick. Great time. We cleaned up nice. I see what you're wearing.
I
Wearing
think I look
something
better.
all
I think I
right.
look. I think I'm more dressed properly than you.
A little button down,
A little.
little open. But I'm ready to go. We have a special guest on episode 24. Let's get things started.
Yep. Let's get it. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a true triple threat. This man has many hats in his career. He was drafted by the Yankees in 2003, an opera singer, a lawyer, and now has a business of his own. All-star Encore. Welcome to Pinstripes Uncensored, Mr. Adam Unger.
Thank you, guys. Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. It's
Thank
really
you.
an
Nice to
awesome
have
to
you on
be
our
here.
show.
You hear me? You hear me? Okay.
We hear
You're
you
good.
perfect. You hear us.
All right. Very nice. Thanks for the great introduction. Really appreciate it. Really excited to be here. Let's have some fun.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes,
do
sir.
it.
So, like I said, you were drafted by the Yankees in 2003. You're a New York native. So, what did it mean to you putting on the pinstripes the first time and being drafted by the Yankees?
I mean, that was a dream come true. I remember actually when I got drafted, I printed out the, it showed up online at MLB.com. So I printed it out and I ran to my high school and I kind of went around. I'm like, see, I wasn't crazy, because everybody, that I went to school with kind of knew me as this, kid that was just, playing baseball and it was just so dedicated to it. And a lot of people, when you walk around when you're young, be like, I'm going to try to play, try to accomplish a big goal. They're like, yeah, right. You'll never do it. So it just felt great to, show the naysayers that, yes, I did it. I did it. I got drafted. It certainly was not easy. It took a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. And you were actually the same draft class as Eric Duncan, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I'm sorry. He's a New Jersey native, so I'm a Jersey native myself. So I got to show love from him.
Yeah, I play with Eric. I think he's actually doing really well as a hitting coach now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I played with Eric for a couple of years. Really nice guy. Just awesome. Tyler Clippard was my draft year also. If you remember him. Also, Phil Koch, the left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, he was part of the 2009 team.
Yep. He was I played with him as well. And when I was with not the Yankees, but I actually played for the Rockies too. And the guy I played shortstop with was a guy named Pedro Strop, who actually ended up making it as a pitcher in the big leags. So got to play with a couple of people. And Robinson Cano was in the system at the time, although he was higher up than single A, but he was in the system in 03. Also played with Melky Cabrera as well. So I had my locker was next to his in spring training in 04. So, really cool stuff. And, I got to practice a lot of my Spanish with Melky at the time.
Pedro played for I think the Orioles, I believe, right?
Yeah, and I think the Cubs too. I think the Cubs, it was funny because he was a really good fielding shortstop, but he had a cannon of an arm, And so when he made it as a pitcher, I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh, there you go.
So, right, so what is one memory that stood out in your time in the Yankee organization?
Oh, you know, actually, one memory that really stands out is it doesn't have to do with baseball. It was actually on a long road trip that we were taking down in Florida, and we were kind of like entertaining each other before, you know, on the bus. And Dwight Gooden was the pitching coach, and Doc knew I could sing, so he's like, Adam, get up there and sing. So I went in front of all my teammates, you know, on the team, and I start spreading the news, and everyone went nuts on the bus, and people. That's actually when I really started singing again. Was actually my teammates in the Yankees minor leagues really reacting to my singing voice, and I kind of was like, oh, maybe I should, you know, get some training, you know. So that's a really good memory for me.
So for anyone that don't know who you are, where you live, what you, because you wore a lot of hats, right?
Yeah.
So if you like to explain to our audience, just give them a little detail about yourself, and so
Yeah.
they can get to know you if possible.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do that. Yes, I definitely wear you know, a lot of hats. I mean, I was a baseball player first. I mean, some of them were imposed on me. I wish I would have made the major leagues, and I only would have had one hat. But you know, I only played in the minor leagues. I got released by the Rockies, and you know, at that time, you got to figure out what you want to do next. And I knew I had a singing voice, and I always loved music. And I sang as a kid. My dad sang. So, you know, I always have been a person that went for my passion. So, like, after I got released, I said, well, wouldn't it be cool if I went from being a professional athlete to being a professional singer? You know, and so I trained as an opera singer. I studied music in college, and went through that path and became obsessed with singing, and particularly classical singing, because it's actually quite athletic to be able to project your voice and do all that stuff. So got really into music, but then when I was 25 years old, I actually, truth be told, had a girl break up with me, and she was like, Adam, you know, you've accomplished so much. You're played for the Yankees, and you're a great opera singer, but you know, you're not established yet. You're not making enough money. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go to law school, you know, because it's funny, because you could work so hard and do really, really well in sports and also in singing, but it's hard to really make money doing those things. You have to be in a very, you know, elite class. So I was thinking about, what am I going to do next? You know, my dad was a lawyer, and I decided, you know what, let me go to law school, because in my mind, thinking about my future, I said, if I can be, you know, a great lawyer and then opera singer and a professional athlete, I had a feeling, even as like a 25, 26-year-old, that I'd be able to find a combination eventually, you know, of how to use those things in a unique way, you know? So I ended up actually going to my first year of law school at Hofstra, because ironically, Randy Levine, who is the president of the Yankees, is a graduate of Hofstra Law School. So when I applied to Hofstra, I ended up getting a call from Randy, because Randy's on the board, because the people at Hofstra said, hey, Randy, there's this guy who just applied. He used to play in the minor leagues for the Yankees. We want him to go here. You know, so Randy Levine encouraged me to go to law school. I went to law school. I ended up doing really well at law school in Hofstra, and I transferred to the University of Pennsylvania Law School, which is one of the better law schools in the country. And from there, I got a job at one of the big firms in New York, Paul Weiss, Rifkin, Wharton, and Garrison. You might know them because they actually, if you remember Deflategate, they did the report on Tom Brady. They've done a lot of, they defended the NFL in the concussion case. So they're a very, very big firm. And I ended up actually getting away from sports and music when I was at Paul Weiss, because I was really delving into mergers and acquisitions and private equity and being a lawyer and really the nuts and bolts of doing that. But then after 4 years and working my butt off over there, I ended up over at Herrick Feinstein, my current law firm, because we're a little bit smaller than Paul Weiss, but we have a sports and entertainment practice. And I've been practicing in that group. And what really kind of made all my worlds come together is I started to represent a private equity firm last year doing sports investments. And the private equity firm actually partners with a lot of athletes. And I started to see like the integration of the worlds of sports and business, right? And athletes and business, especially now as they make more money, sort of integrating together. And so I started to realize, hey, I know a lot of athletes from when I used to play. And I started to kind of introduce people and combine people. And then I had this idea for a long time, which we'll talk about now, about getting Bernie Williams to accompany a great opera singer because he's such a great musician. And so because I had built my network up to a certain extent over time, with my business and then, sports and music, I was able to really then combine, as I told you before, combine all these things in a unique way with this Carnegie Hall concert that I'm putting on. So it really just goes to, working hard, following your passions, but doing different things. I read an article for all the people listening here. It was written by Elon Musk's first wife. And the article is about how to become very wealthy. And she said, what Elon did was he became a master at two different things that are very different and then found a unique way to combine them. So it's actually an interesting career theory that I've actually tried to practice myself. So that's a little bit about me. I grew up in New York. I'm from Long Island. I live in Plainview. I'm married. I've got 2 kids, and I, but my life isn't all, red wine and roses. I, suffer and, get sad and depressed like everybody else.
Yeah.
You mentioned like Doc Gooden, Tyler Clippard, Phil Cook. But are there any other like players or coaches that had an early impression on you in your baseball career?
Yeah, tons. Actually, I got to tell you, Roberto Alomar and Omar Vizquel. I don't know if you've seen the picture, but there's a picture with me and Bernie Williams when I was 14 years old, and I'm in an Indians uniform. So I was lucky enough that Ray Negron, who's currently with the Yankees, used to bring me out when he was with the Indians at the time in the late 90s to be the ball boy for the Indians in the visitors clubhouse. And now what's great about being in the visitors clubhouse is that you see every team that comes in. So I used to catch ground balls with Robbie Alomar, Vizquel, who else? Like Chuck Knobloch. I did a lot of practice with him. Even guys like Bernie Williams and Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter. I'm trying to think. David Ortiz, a guy who used to be the second baseman for the Twins, Luis Rivas. There are so many people. The scout for the Yankees has signed me, Cesar Presbot. There just are innumerable people that. Gave me an opportunity to at least to watch them, to learn under them, but then it was my responsibility to kind of step through that, that and really learn from them and really be able to implement what they taught me. Just all those guys were very, very influential. But I have to say Roberto Alomar being one. And I want to just shout out also his father, Sandy Alomar, who recently passed away. So rest in peace, Sandy Alomar. And, really love Robbie and Sandy. And they were very, very good to me when I was a kid. A lot of people, too, I want to say they sometimes get a bad raps in the media for certain stories or for certain things that they did that come out about them. But I got to see as a child, who behind closed doors really treated me nicely, and I can only speak from that.
If you had to pick You said speaking of bad rep, like rap, who you think was the one that was getting killed in the media, but you're like, no, that's not true. He's a great guy.
I got to number them actually. Maybe some New Yorkers don't like this, but when I met John Rocker, he was great, and he was with the Indians all the time. He was very nice. I mean, it was a little bit shocking, because I'm old enough to remember the story, But you meet the guy in person. Hey, how are you? I mean, I don't know what he's like. I'm sure, like everybody else, he has bad parts and good parts. Very nice guy. Another guy too that I know very well. He's a part of my Carnegie Hall concert. I mean, when Stephon Marbury was playing for the Knicks, right? He got a lot of, kind of there. I don't remember it, but he had some stories about him, right? Come out at that time. Awesome guy. I mean, I love the guy. One of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, seriously. I mean, the guy's like turned into one of my closest friends. Just a beautiful guy. Who else is somebody like that? I mean, even Robbie Alomar, that's an example. Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry. I've always found both of them to have just incredible hearts. Really great guys. I'm trying to think. Start naming them off from back in the late 90s, early 2000s, because that would be the ones I know the best. But, I mean, right off the bat, those are some people I can think of.
I was with Doc and Daryl not too long ago. Really great guys, especially Doc Gooden. I went to a signing with him and just hugging like the fans, joking with them. So you could tell he's a great guy. He loves the fans and just life.
Yeah, great. I mean, a great guy, and I think it's interesting to actually, as fans, you kind of feel like you know the person, but we don't actually know the person, really.
Yeah.
So it's something to keep in mind.
So you were a successful like baseball player drafted by the Yankees. Did like your mentality as a baseball player like translate over as an opera singer and as a lawyer, or what you do as All-Star Encore as well?
Yeah.
And which one is the hardest one, you think? Hitting 100 miles per hour or singing or being a lawyer? So you can answer CK and mine's after.
Yeah, I got to tell you. So hold on. I just actually listened to your question. I forgot yours. What was yours again, Chris?
Mine or his?
Chris.
Yeah, so my question was like, did your mentality as like...
Oh, yeah. So absolutely. I mean, I think that, for sure, I learned how to focus, how to get good at something. I'm sitting down, but I'm not a very big guy. I'm only 5'8". I wasn't that fast. I had a lot of things I had to compensate for as a player. Certainly, the work ethic, the sacrifice, learning how to get better at something, learning to be sensitive to my body. I mean, that certainly helped me as a singer, as a lawyer too, just knowing how to hunker down and get something done, and how to be part of a team. These are all translatable skills, for sure. In terms of difficulty, I definitely think that hitting the 100-mile-an-hour fastball is harder. Although I think that next to that is probably being a lawyer, not for the content of the work, but some of the hours I've had to pull as a lawyer, like working for 40 hours without sleeping on a deal that had to close, or just like being up till 5 a.m, 3 consecutive nights. It's a very different sort of skill set, but just like the length of time there and having to sit behind your computer and the attention to detail and all that stuff, that's pretty difficult. For me, I think singing actually comes most naturally. But hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastball, that's really hard. It's really, really difficult. I think that's one of the hardest things to do. Actually, Chad Ochocinco on his podcast with Shannon Sharp, he said the two hardest things to do in the world are hitting a baseball and keeping a woman happy long term. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I heard that one. That's hilarious.
You know?
So I'm gonna go off script. You're a lawyer. Since you're a lawyer, I would love to hear what you have to say. I see it every single day. I think it's stupid. So I don't know if you're really caught up with like the basketball world, like the sports world, because I know you're so busy. LeBron James had to make an announcement, and that person, I don't know if CK heard about this, bought tickets, and now he wants to sue him. I don't know if you want to talk about it. Should he just sit back and take the L?
I don't know why the guy wants to sue him. I mean, what is he saying? He was expecting something in the announcement that he didn't get, or something like that, or he bought.
Yeah.
What did he buy tickets to?
All right. So
was it a game he bought tickets to because he thought he might be retiring?
I think it was for a game. I don't know if it's like one game during the season or the last home game of the Lakers. So he bought it for $800 and something, almost $900. Now he wants to sue him for it. So since you're a lawyer, you say what to it? Just take the L.
I have to say, I'm actually not a litigator, so this is not my expertise. But I mean, that's pretty hard to do because, first of all, LeBron's not. It would be one thing if the Lakers advertised that, hey, we think LeBron is retiring, so get tickets to his last game, right? But it's not coming from the Lakers, it's coming from LeBron, right? LeBron is not the one selling the tickets. LeBron is just out there, doing his thing. So, I think he's got a really hard argument. I mean, first of all, I think unless some lawyer is doing it for free, he's going to pay more in legal fees than he is on getting $895 back. So I don't know what kind of sense that makes at all, because a lawyer is going to charge him at least like $500 an hour. So, the lawyer will work 2 hours at least on the lawsuit. And what's the guy's going to end up losing money even if he wins? So I don't know what the damages are here. The damages, by the way, are definitely not the full extent of the ticket price. It might be the difference between what the ticket price would have been, right, had he not announced it, and what he bought it for, right? Because you might say the ticket price without LeBron, the anticipation of LeBron James, it being his last home game, is $400. But maybe because it's his last game, now it's $800. So you're not going to be able to recover the $800. You'd only be able to recover that increase in the value that you had to pay because of the announcement. So he's not even going to get the if he's suing for the full ticket price, he's losing. He's not going to get that.
Thank you for clearing that up. I find it funny. I see it every single day. Just wanted to throw it out there.
No, it is funny. I like you going off script here. That's how the best interviews happen.
All right, let's throw it back to opera. So opera is not really appreciated by the younger generation. Is there like any misconceptions that you'd like to clear up about opera?
I think that, well, first of all, I think opera has to do a better job of appealing to youth by having great singers and having great collaborations, because people will pay attention when something is entertaining, And I think, maybe a misconception is that, it's for very elitist people or things like that. But I also think that a lot of times people, especially young people, don't understand what's so exciting about hearing a great operatic voice live is because there's no microphone and the voice is really projecting, it's a very visceral experience. You actually feel the voice hit you, it's really, really exciting. And back in the day in Italy or in Europe, when an opera singer would sing a huge high note, and hold it, the fans would go nuts like at a baseball game, You know, it would be like a heroic thing, like someone hitting a home run. So I think it could be very, very exciting. But that's part of the reason to kind of transition into Carnegie Hall. You know, why I've got Bernie Williams collaborating one of the best opera singers in the world at Carnegie Hall, because this opera singer, Jonathan Tetelman, is absolutely unbelievable. He can sing a lot more music other than opera. So we're going to be doing Spanish songs. We're going to be doing, American songs, Sinatra songs, Broadway songs, and some opera songs. And you got Bernie Williams on the guitar with Jose Reyes, Stefan Marbury as special guests, and also Katia Lindor, the wife of Francisco Lindor, is playing the violin. So you got all these people coming in to this amazing event, you know, and it's like kind of like, come on, Yankee fans, let's go cheer on Bernie Williams, you know, on the stage of Carnegie Hall, because Carnegie Hall is really like kind of like the old Yankee Stadium of music venues. Yeah. You know, it's got that like real history from 1870 or whatever behind it. And I think that this was going to bring a really more mass appeal, you know, because people are going to sit there and be entertained, right? Because that's what we really want to do, you know, is let people really get there and cheer and have an opera singer, you know, singing and Bernie Williams playing and the Yankees fans screaming, you know, Bernie Williams, you know, and really creating that kind of atmosphere. And I think that doing that will bring younger people to opera, you know, maybe not necessarily opera as it's been, right? But there's a way to do it where we curate incredible events where younger people and sports fans will be interested.
You sure you want to bring Yankee fans in there?
Yeah, man. Let's go.
They're pretty nuts.
Let's go. Hey, you know, I got some of the bleacher creatures coming to the concert. So
okay.
So, you know,
yeah,
we're gonna be doing stuff. And then, you know, you got some Mets fans coming in. You got some, I'm sure we're gonna have some Knicks fans and some opera fans. So it's gonna be a crazy group.
So,
but I think it's great. Like it's almost like, you know, to me, it's like January 13th. It's going to be a month away from spring training. You're going to be in the middle of the basketball season. It's kind of like, hey, New York. Like, it's a great New York kind of coming together. You know, I want everybody in the whole audience, even Bernie Williams, I want everybody to sing New York, New York together at the end of the concert. The whole place, you know?
So it's going to be an opera remix.
Yeah, 100%.
That what?
100%. And you're going to, you know, and I'm telling you, when you see this opera singer sing live, it's hard not to be, even if you don't like opera, to see it live, you're gonna be impressed, you know. And the guy's an entertainer too. He's not just like one of these opera singers that just stands there and sing. He's a tall, you know, good-looking guy, great personality, knows how to entertain. I mean, you could look him up on the internet now. I'm sure in some of my posts on All-Star Encore. You know, Jonathan Tetelman, just listen to the guy sing. He's incredible.
Now, is there any tickets left? Because CK and I really wants to go now.
Yes,
there are tickets left. You know, we're 2.5 months out, so there's still time to buy tickets. There are good tickets left. They're really not that expensive. I priced them from like $20 on the low end to like $160 is like in the front row orchestra. So it's not unaffordable. We wanted to open it up so everybody could come. And, you know, I just think it's going to be a really, really memorable, fun night. And I definitely want you guys there.
Let's go. I'm game.
We
So what's proper attire to go to an opera concert? I honestly don't know.
No, you can wear whatever you want these days. It's actually not. I mean, but you know, you can take the opportunity to do what you want. Do you want to wear business casual? Do you want to show up casual? You know, do you want to be like, hey, I'm going full out. I want to wear a tuxedo. Do I want to wear my Bernie Williams Yankee jersey like underneath my tuxedo? Like, you know, it's open.
Yeah, my casual and my dressing up, I'm not kidding. It's in my Yankee gear. That's my dressing up. This is already we cleaned up nice today.
All right.
Well, CK is always dressed up. I'm just in my Yankee gear all day, every day.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. You know, it really is true. I mean, maybe we do is we get you guys like, you know, pinstripe suits, you know,
Yeah.
Pinstripe suits.
you know,
Like
like what Aaron Judge wore, you know, but your own twist on it.
Oh, pinstripe. Damn.
You're like,
Yeah,
you
you really, yeah.
reporters. You gotta ask Robin. Look this up.
You really got me there. I never thought about dressing up in pinstripe suits.
Yeah, and you
That
can
would
put a
make
number
more
on the
sense.
back. You could put a number on the back of the jacket. You could, you know, 51. I mean, and listen, I don't know who's going to come yet because it's too far away. But I guarantee you'll have some of Bernie's, you know, teammates, some Yankee folks in the audience, some Met people, Nick people. It's going to be a really cool audience too. You know, so you know, there you guys, you know, go. I mean, it's gonna be cool. What else can I have? We got the Metropolitan Opera orchestra members playing, and we might have some other really cool special guests as well.
So since you're always busy, let's talk about a day off for you. If you have a day off, what is something you like to do?
Sleep.
Sleep.
I like to sleep. You know what I like to do? I love making a dirty martini with my wife and just chilling out, watching a show, and just sipping on a good dirty martini. I mean, that's relaxation 101 for me. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. What else? On a day off, I mean, play with my kids. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, so, you know, play with them. I love to, go out, take a drive to the city, go out with some friends, you know, have some fun. You know, that's the name of the game for me. I love nature, you know, going to the beach, going to, you know, take a walk in the woods, you know, having some time for some meditation, just stuff like that, spending time with family. That's what I love to do.
So top 5 Yankees of your choice. Who's your top 5 Yankees of all time?
Of all time, well, I gotta say Bernie Williams.
For me, Bernie's super underrated.
Yeah, he's great. Does this count anybody in the past or present?
Yeah, anyone.
Whatever you want.
It's whoever you want. Your top 5 greatest Yankee of all time.
Paul O'Neill.
Okay.
Are you doing it in order, like from 5 to 1?
Nothing in order.
All right.
And then I gotta go with some old school guys. Phil Rizzuto, because I gotta give love to the short statured, you know, kings out there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Yogi Berra.
Okay. Yes.
The GOAT.
Lou Gehrig.
Okay. I love it. I
Okay.
love it.
You know, one of the questions I also really love is the 5 most underrated Yankees from the dynasty years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's another good question.
You just hitting us with
You know,
a great question. Like we should have thought about that. Come on, CK.
you know,
All right. So who's your top 5 underrated? I know Bernie's number 1. If it was in order.
I gotta tell you, Scott Brocious,
Yes.
Okay.
Louis Soho,
Okay.
Jim Leyritz.
Jim Leyritz. Okay.
I'm just going like 96 through, you know, 09. That was 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 3.
You got to think. But who's a Ramiro Mendoza?
Oh, I was actually thinking
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, that's a big arm.
Ramiro Mendoza.
Actually, I have a short statured guy in mind. Let's see if you have him.
Chuck Knobloch.
Oh, I think I already know where you're going to. Brett Gardner.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got Gardy.
Yeah,
Fast, leadoff hitter, great fielder. That's why I like Gardy.
it's a Gardy party.
Yeah.
Just wanted to,
You
just
know,
wanted
I
to
love
throw
the
that out there.
guys who are tough outs in clutch situations in the playoffs. You know, like bases are loaded, the ball needs to get put in play. Who is a tough strikeout, tough out?
Oh, I'm putting Derek Jeter on there.
Jeter, yeah.
Nick Swisher too.
Nick, okay.
He was smart with that bad. He like worked the pitcher's counts.
So when you see, we're talking about old school Yankees. Let's talk about this year's Yankees. You see the Yankees of today. You say what?
You know, I just think I was talking actually with a GM, a big league GM about this, and I completely agree too with what A-Rod and Jeter said in their post game conference, like a summary on Fox.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of things that work in the regular season are different in the playoffs. And I think that guys who, again, are tough outs, who can put the ball in play, who don't strike out, a lot of times that will be viewed as sort of like overrated or not as important in the regular season. But when you get into the playoffs and you're against the top 2% of pitchers in the big leagues, when your team has a tendency to strike out, they're going to potentially strike out more, you know, and you need guys who are able to put the ball in play against top end pitching. And I think that the Yankees need more of those guys in the lineup.
Okay. All right. Speaking of the current Yankees, I have to ask this. You being a lawyer and having a sports entertainment business, I've been told I'm Luke Weaver's biggest fan. I feel like I'm the only one that wants him back at the Yankees because, like, what he is as a player actually resonates with me. The former first-round pick struggled. His faith in Christianity. I'm a practicing Catholic, and obviously he's a great personality, which inspired me to create his own voice, create my own voice in the podcast. Like, what would it take to him to come back as a Yankee, and would you want to see him back?
Yeah, you know, I think that's completely fine. I'd love to see him back. You know, he's been a great pitcher. You know, I certainly think that especially against the Blue Jays, we had a lot of, especially in the first 2 games, you know, not great pitching. You know, we're going to get some people back healthy next year. I think I just would like to see some more. I would just try to see some fewer strikeouts. Really, just some guys brought in who are, again, like I think putting the ball in play against good pitchers and putting pressure on the defense is very important in the postseason. I mean, you see what happened with the Phillies, you know, game where the guy just grounded the ball back to the pitcher, right? And he panicked and they won, right? It's like the value of being able to put the ball in play in pressure situations. I think it's more critical in the postseason and in the regular season.
Let's throw it back to, like, as an athlete, like a person like Luke Weaver, a great clubhouse guy, great with the teammates love him. Like, how important is, like, a player like that to, like, a team?
I think it's really important. I mean, clubhouse dynamic is very important. It's good that people, you know, like each other, want to be around each other. You know, it's 162 games. I think a lot of people don't realize how tiring that is. It's a grind. It's not fun all the time. It's kind of like eating ice cream. You have to eat ice cream for 162 times, in 180 days. It's not easy. So I think that is very important for sure. So, anything else, guys?
I'm gonna have two more. I have two more questions.
Myself too.
So what is one piece of advice you give to someone who feels like they have multiple passions but afraid to pursue them all?
I think do it one at a time. I think that life is long, and you don't have to go crazy at everything all at once. And so I think you can build one skill while kind of a little bit building the other, and then switch. I mean, right? I've had different segments of my life, so that would be my advice. You can do it for sure, but don't. You have time. I just turned 40 years old, so if you're 25 years old, you got plenty of time. That's my answer.
All right, so you've been featured on the NY Post and a couple of interviews with Tina Cervasio from Fox 5. Like, what's been like the most surreal part of like your career as like baseball player, lawyer, or opera singer, or even with All-Star Encore so far?
Definitely one of the most surreal is getting this together with Bernie Williams. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's new. It's all surreal, I mean, the fact that any of us are alive anyway is pretty trippy. So I think I just try to keep it grounded moment to moment, and but definitely this concert with Bernie Williams for sure tops them all.
We could just.
So well, how can people find out more about All-Star Encore? What you got going on, or any projects you got going on, or purchase tickets to your event in January?
Yeah, so you can go. So All-Star Encore is the Instagram handle. You can go to You can just Google Bernie Williams Carnegie Hall for tickets. That's pretty easy. I'll also probably end up posting. Where is it? Hold on. I'll probably end up posting this on my. It's just got the QR code right there. So I'll post that on my Instagram too. Make it easier for people. But Bernie's Instagram, Jonathan Tetelman's Instagram, you could very easily, and again, the easiest thing to do is just hop on your computer or your phone, you Google Bernie Williams Carnegie Hall, comes right up.
Awesome. Well, it's been awesome having you on. I don't know if my co-host had anything else to say.
I have nothing else to say. Love everything about you.
Yeah, same here. It's been a pleasure knowing you, and I definitely want to go to the Carnegie Hall event, and hopefully my co-hosts come with me.
Yeah, well,
definitely.
Thank you guys. I mean, it comes from the bottom of my heart. I think the most important thing to do is to just share the love, be honest, and be authentic. And I'm just every time I get a chance to have a great conversation with a couple of awesome guys like you, I never can turn it down. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being on.
All right, thanks, guys.
All
Take
right.
care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Another clap. What a show. What a guy. Multiple hats, pursuing it all, ups and downs, never giving up. That's what life is all about. Thank you, Adam, for being on Pinstripes Uncensored. And thank you to Ray Negron for calling me and wanting to put this together. We made it happen. So, Ray, thank you so much for everything that you do for me, all the love and support. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, so guys, please check out his event at Carnegie Hall. You saw the big names: Stefan Marbury, Bernie Williams, Jose Reyes. We're going to put it in the description below, so purchase tickets from there, or we're going to have his Instagram handles too, so go to the Instagram handle and purchase tickets. We'd love to see you there. Other than that, it's been episode 24. What an episode. It's going to be one that hit home for most listeners, and we'll definitely see you in episode 25. Let's go, Yankees.
Go, Yanks. Let's go.